Hi, everyone. I'm New York State Senator Julia Salazar, and this is Dispatches, a collection of opinion and analysis from the briefing. Today is August 7th, and I'm giving you an update on the eviction crisis in New York. Right now, thousands of working class New Yorkers are about to be made homeless because rent is more than they can afford. More than 1 million people in New York City alone are out of work. We're not going to take this lying down. I'm proud to support thousands of tenants standing up for their human right to housing, and I join them in calling for emergency relief to end the upcoming wave of evictions. Governor Cuomo has just extended the eviction moratorium until September, but it will still be a catastrophe in September to evict 14,000 people. We need a permanent solution to keep people in their homes. For years, the real estate lobby and corporate landlords in my district and all over New York have been trying to force out longtime working class Black and Latinx residents to replace them with higher paying tenants. Even before this pandemic, we had to fight to make sure that people could keep a roof over their heads. Back in 2019, shortly after I'd been elected, I worked with organized tenants to introduce the Good Cause Eviction Bill to protect tenants from baseless evictions brought solely for landlords' profits. We successfully passed new tenant protections to keep hundreds of thousands of tenants in their homes and to stop skyrocketing rents. But our work for housing justice is not finished. During this pandemic, the need for legislative action to protect working class renters has become even more urgent. With mass unemployment and huge numbers of people sick and dying in New York due to COVID-19, people who were already struggling to pay unreasonable rents have been pushed to the breaking point. Across my district, New York, and the entire country, tenants stood up to demand what they deserve: full cancellation of rent during this crisis. That's why I proposed the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act of 2020. This bill would protect tenants from eviction and any other consequences for non-payment of rent during the crisis. People who can't afford to pay rent should not be punished for it. This bill would also enact similar protections for homeowners with unaffordable mortgages. Crucially, there is no means testing in this bill. It is a universal program, so everyone is protected and no one falls through the cracks. A universal program is crucial for New Yorkers who have fallen through the cracks of other relief efforts, particularly our undocumented neighbors in my community who have received no federal assistance whatsoever. The point is to make sure that relief protects our whole community. Canceling rent and mortgages is not a crazy idea. It is a necessary one. By canceling rent and mortgages, we shift the burden of this crisis from the people who have the least ability to pay and who are often the very same essential workers we depend on to survive this crisis, and we shift that burden to the corporate landlords for whom homes are a commodity and a profit-making asset. For the small and nonprofit landlords who need assistance during this time, I've also proposed the Emergency Coronavirus Affordable Housing Preservation Act. Above all, we need to prioritize keeping renters from being evicted, which is not a matter of financial comfort, but of physical survival. Now is the time to put people over profit. Canceling rent and mortgages has been proposed by organized tenants in dozens of states. It's been backed by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and others in Congress, and by Senator Bernie Sanders. New York should be a leader in this area, and I'm calling on all our legislators to get behind these bills. Poor leadership during this crisis has shown us that we need organized tenants to lead the change. I'm proud to stand with Housing Justice for All, and I'm encouraging everyone listening to get involved in this fight. Call and email your local representatives and tell them to pass relief for New York renters now. This pandemic is a fearful time, but it's also been a time of tremendous bravery. The everyday demonstrations of solidarity show us how much New Yorkers care about each other and about our communities. The thousands of renters who are striking in solidarity with their neighbors who are unable to pay have shown us that we can and must stand up for each other in order to survive this crisis. The working class people in this city have been brave. Now it's the government's turn. I'm calling on all of my colleagues, the mayor and the governor, to show bravery and do what's right for tenants and mortgagors facing homelessness during this crisis. Extend the eviction moratoriums and cancel rent. I'm New York State Senator Julia Salazar, and this has been Dispatches from the Briefing.